All right, you guys, you ready for this? I think all the real estate wholesaling gurus are going to hate me for making this video, but I decided, you know what? Screw it. Let's just help everybody do a deal before 2019. And if you're watching this in 2019, I'm going to help you do a deal within the next week, honestly. So what I'm going to do inside of this video is I'm going to break down literally step by step exactly what you need to go do to go out there and do a deal. I'm not going to hold anything back in this video. I'm going to give you all the websites, all the links, everything in order to go out there and do a wholesale deal. I'm saying screw it, and I'm going to help you guys out. And then on top of that, I'm going to even give you guys the ability to reach out to me and message me on Instagram or Facebook. The one requirement that I have in order for me to reply back and give you guys advice on this, I'm going to have you send me like a hashtag somewhere inside of the message. So that way I know that you watch this video and you guys are on the right path, so that way I don't have to spend a lot of time going over stuff and trying to figure out what circumstance that you're in. As long as you follow everything inside of this video, you will go out there and do a deal. So shoot me the hashtag do a deal 2019. And that's what we'll do. I'll have that as a hashtag. So I'll pop it right down below. I'll even put it in the description for you guys to copy and paste it if you want. So do a deal 2019. That is the hashtag, and I will reply back to you. So with this, I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to tell you step by step exactly what you need to do to go do a real estate wholesale deal. And for those of you that are new into wholesaling, I'm going to do a quick brief description. And then down below, I'm going to have kind of like a little menu that you can have so you can skip in advance on where you want to be and watch inside the video. So that way you don't have to watch everything if you have a little bit of knowledge as to what's going on. So first of all, what is real estate wholesaling? Wholesaling is where we are finding discounted properties and selling them over to someone with cash to buy these houses, and we make profit in the middle. You don't have to put any money down. The only money down that you have to put down is earnest money, which I'll probably talk about in a future video, but I've done some deals where I only paid $1 for earnest money, and then on top of that, probably the most I've ever paid was $1,000, but I had no idea what I was doing, and that was basically all my money. So I usually do with less than $100 these days on my wholesale deals. Usually it's like around $10. So that's really the only money that you put down. And then on top of that, for earnest money, you get it back if you make a mistake. So I'm going to break it down step by step, what you have to do to go out there and do a deal. So also, first of all, why someone would sell their house on a discount, because I get asked this a lot whenever I'm talking about the business, is the reason being is because people are motivated to sell their house at a discount. There's tons and tons of reasons out there. I'm not going to break it down inside of this video. I have a lot of videos on this channel. You can go watch them if you want and go check it out as to why people are motivated to sell their house at a discount. There's a lot of reasons: distress, foreclosure, divorce. There's a lot out there. I'm not going to list them all. But anyways, all right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, what step by step exactly you have to do. So the wholesaling gurus are going to hate me for making this video. So I'm saying screw it. I'm going to put all the links down below for any of the websites that I'm talking about for anything that you need. And let's jump into it. So first things first, you need to find motivated sellers. And so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go into the county and get the tax delinquency list. You just go in, ask for the tax delinquency list. What you can do first of all is just Google tax delinquency list and then type in the name of your county. Just Google that, see what comes up, see if you can pull it online. Sometimes we have a public information request in my state, and you just type it in and it will come up with the tax delinquency list. You just send in a form and they just send it back to you and whatnot, and you can put in all the requirements. But what you're gonna do, go into the county if you can't find it. Usually it's like the tax assessor, or just keep going to the courthouse, county, whatever it may be, and ask for the tax delinquency list. If they have no idea what you're talking about, go back in like an hour later, ask somebody else, or go in the next day. Just keep asking people. Usually about 5 to 7 times they will give you the information. But yeah, just keep going back in there and they should lead you that direction. And if they charge you for the tax delinquency list, I'm going to put a website down below. I haven't personally used this website, but for those people that have to pay a lot of money in order to pull this list, like some states charge you $300 to do it. I don't know why. My state's free. Go find out. And if it's a lot of money, I'm going to put this link down below. It's called Rebo Gateway, and you should be able to pull the tax delinquency list. That's not a huge deal. Just try to get this list. Tax delinquency list. These are people behind on their taxes. And when you get the list, ask for people that have been on this list for 2 years or more. And some state, it really depends on the state, exactly the circumstances. If you have to, just get the whole list. And then from there, what you're going to do is just figure out how to get the tax delinquency list. Just get the tax delinquency list. That's the plan. That's the game plan. And then once you get this tax delinquency list, what you're going to do is you're going to skip trace the list. And what skip tracing is basically where you send a team a bunch of addresses and names if you have them, and from there they will give you the phone numbers for that like match to these addresses. So with this, you're going to send them off the list. So now some tax delinquency list. This happens in my state, in my county, and I don't know how often this comes up, but they just give you the parcel ID numbers. This doesn't always happen. Sometimes they give you addresses and names. Mine just gave me names and parcel ID numbers. So I needed the address to skip trace it. And if you need the addresses, which you will if you don't have them already, what you're going to do is with that list, go into the county assessor and type in the parcel ID and copy and paste the address over into an Excel spreadsheet. And so it's going to take a decent amount of time to do it, but it's highly worth it, especially in those states, because that means it's harder for people to send out, to get a hold of these people because they don't have the addresses of the people. So if you really want to, just go into some sort of Facebook real estate group and ask for a virtual assistant, and you can find someone that'll do it for you. Usually they charge like $5 an hour. They're out of the country and they're in the Philippines or whatever it may be, Costa Rica. There's a lot of different places. They'll charge you $5 an hour and they'll do it for you. Just ask someone in, like, you can ask inside of my Facebook group. I'll put it down below. Or you can ask inside of Max Maxwell's group. It really doesn't matter. There's a lot of different, just find some sort of wholesaling group and you'll find a virtual assistant. Just ask for one and they'll give you one. And then send them off this list and they should be able to get you all the addresses. This doesn't always happen, but a lot of the time, like, there's a few circumstances where you don't have any addresses. And then on top of that, sometimes they give you just like a printed copy. They can't give you an Excel spreadsheet. Just Google, like, turn it into a PDF. You can take a picture. There's this app that I have on my phone. It's called Cam Scanner. Download the Cam Scanner app. There should be one on Android. I don't know what it's called. I have iPhone. So with the Cam Scanner app, you just take a picture of the printed sheets and it turns it into a PDF, and then Google PDF to Excel spreadsheet. You may have to clean it up a little bit. Your virtual assistant can do that, whoever's scraping the list for this job. And then on top of that, just turn it into an Excel spreadsheet, and then that's where you add all the addresses, or you're going to send this off to the company that will skip trace the leads. So now that you have an Excel spreadsheet of all the different addresses and possibly names for people, if you can get the names, try to get that on there, and it may be an LLC, whatnot. So you're going to send it off to this company. I'm going to put the link down below. It is an affiliate link. They've given me affiliate code. I'm just going to be completely transparent, so I will make a percentage if you send a list off to them. But honestly, I really don't care. You can just type in needtoskip.com. Either way, it doesn't matter. They hooked me up with a link, and this is a company that I found on my own, and I asked them for the link after I found out that their services were pretty high quality. So it's going to be down below, needtoskip.com. And basically you send them off the list. If you have no idea what you're doing inside of there, just call their support phone number and they will help you out, or shoot them an email and they'll help you through the process. Usually I think you have to have, don't quote me on this, I think it's like 100 leads in order to get them skip traced. So, and with that, it costs about 25 cents a lead. So it's going to cost a little bit of money. And with that, just skip trace it, but it's definitely worth it. And try to get all the phone numbers. They should do it pretty quickly, within a day or so, and they should be able to send you all of the phone numbers that they're able to match. They will also run it through the do not call list, so that way you're not calling anybody that you shouldn't be calling and getting in trouble. So basically just try to get a hold of them and you should be good to go. And then on top of that, now that, like, they sent you back the phone numbers and you got everything all squared away, let's say, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. If you couldn't get, like, if you don't have the budget for it, you can't get the phone numbers, you can just try to go on Yellow Pages or White Pages, whatever it's called, .com, and type in each person's address, name, and try to get the phone numbers back. There's different services out there. Some of them are free and whatnot. And with that, you could do it. And then there's also some people in the Philippines that offer services, whatnot. But really, at the end of the day, just try to skip trace it, and you should be good to go. If you can't skip trace the list, you don't have the income to do so, you can't skip trace it, then honestly, just go knock on the doors of these houses and ask if they're willing to sell their property. But anyways, what you're going to do now that you got these phone numbers is call up the phone numbers. I'm going to put a link down below for a dialer. I think it's like $100 a month. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but it speeds up the process, has a built-in customer relationship management tool, which is basically just a database that keeps track of people, has a built-in calendar, has everything. It's called mojodialer.com. I'm going to have an affiliate link down below. You don't have to click the affiliate link if you don't want to give me money. But basically, just go to Mojo. I think it's mojosells.com. I'll have the link down below on what exactly it is. But basically, you upload the list into the dialer, and it'll start dialing for you. And when it gets a hold of somebody, it'll pass it over to your phone. You can call them, whatnot. And with the phone number that you're calling with, you're going to have to need to use a phone number for some sort of business number. I recommend that you use Google Voice and just get a number off of them. Don't worry, it'll keep track of everything inside of Mojo, and just give them that phone number in the local area code of where you were calling. And so with this, just start calling people, and it'll call your phone whenever you have someone that picks up, and then you can leave a voicemail. You can have it all automated, and so on and so forth. And so it starts off with like a single dialer, so one line just keeps calling. You can have up to 3 dialers that just consistently call, and I think that's like $150 a month or something like that, and basically like 3 times the speed of you dialing and getting a hold of people and being on the phone, so it's not just ringing the whole time. And then with that, you'll be able to talk to everybody super quickly and go through the list like 5 times. After you go through it about 5 times, go find another list. I'll tell you some more lists at the end of this video, but you're just going to keep calling everybody as much as possible. And when you get on the phone with people, what you're going to do is just say, "Hi, my name's Evan Knupp, and I was calling you off of 123 Main Street, and I was seeing if you were interested in selling your property." And based off of whatever they say inside of that, if they are interested in selling their property, just try to get more info. Basically go through. I'm going to read you guys off like a script off the top of my head that we use inside of my company. I'm not going to give you the actual script, but you can get the gist of where I'm going and just turn it into kind of your own. If you want the actual script, I sell it inside of my course, but I'm not trying to get you guys to spend any money, and it would be kind of a disservice if I just gave it away when I charge people for it and people pay good money for the script. So what it's going to look like is once you get a hold of them and they say yes, they're interested in selling their house, just be like, "Oh, awesome. Did I call you in the middle of something? Would you like me to call you back?" And what this does is it kind of pushes them away and gets them kind of chasing after you. And if they say, no, you're good, then you'd be like, "Oh, okay, can you tell me a little bit more about the property?" And then you're probably going to get a lot of people pissed off. Just understand that's how it goes with cold calling and whatnot, but it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. You just need one person that's motivated. The more questions that they ask, the more skeptical about stuff they are, and the more of a problem everything is, then just understand they're not motivated. They're not the sellers that you're looking for. You're finding someone that has a reason to sell their house quickly, and if they don't sell it at a certain time, then they're going to be in trouble or whatever it may be. So you're going to just keep calling, and then just ask them, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit more about the property?" And then just write down everything that they say about the property. You can type it into Mojo and write down all the notes, so that way it's all kept track of. And then once you find out more about the property, just be like, "Oh, okay, awesome. It sounds like a great property. Why did you consider selling it?" And then kind of drive into the motivation. Try to build a rapport in this section. And then on top of that, now what you're going to do after they tell you why they're selling the house and you talk to them a decent amount, then what you're going to do is just be like, "Oh, okay, well, how much do you think this property is worth?" And try to figure out, and then ask them, where did you arrive at that number? So they may tell you like a realtor, they pulled their own comps, whatever it may be. And then, so that way you can kind of get a gist of where they think the house is worth, and then on top of that, where it's sitting. And then after that, what you're going to be asking them is, what type of repairs are needed on the house. Write everything down. They're always going to underestimate the repairs. It's going to be way worse than they tell you over the phone, but write everything down. Sometimes they're transparent. Most of the time, not so much. And then on top of that, ask them, "How much do you owe on the property?" Just straight up, how much do you owe on the property? And then once they tell you how much they owe on the property, you can kind of get a gist of how much margins are available for the seller and kind of where they're sitting. And just be flat out with them. And then on top of that, once they tell you how much they owe on the property, then what you're going to do is kind of ask them what their timeline is, when they need to sell the house, and try to get a gist of it. And if it's super close and they need to get rid of it quickly, there you go. That's your motivated seller. And then whatever they tell you on the timeline wise, then what you're going to ask them is just be like, "Okay, Mr. Seller, if I were to pay all cash and close quickly, what would be the best price you would consider if I paid for all the closing costs and there'd be no real estate commission for you to pay?" And just wait for them to tell you a number. And so whatever the number they tell you, I don't care what the number is. It's just be like, "Okay, 70,000. Okay, 70,000. Is that the best you can do, Mr. Seller?" And just keep asking them until they say, "Yes, that's the best I can do." So usually, like, if they drop a lot at this point, that means they're motivated. Go on the damn appointment and meet up with them. And then after you get them, like you find out that they're motivated and everything. If they are motivated, like basically they have some sort of reason to sell their house, they're willing to sell it at a discount, then go out there on the appointment and set up a time and date. I really don't care about the numbers or anything like that. If they're motivated, try to go out there, meet up with them, and then do the due diligence after you've like met up with them and everything, and you've kind of came to a conclusion of a pretty discounted price. And then on top of that, what you're going to do afterwards is try to get their email and ask if this is the best way to contact them. If not, try to get a different phone number. And then this applies to all sellers. Make sure that you keep track of everything inside of your database. And so that way you can always follow up, see where you're at in the process with everybody, and follow up with them appropriately that way. So with that, now what you're going to do is basically just try to go on appointments with as many people as possible. And with this, you're going to gain experience. You're going to figure out kind of what's going on in their circumstance and all that, and so on and so forth. And so after you go on so many appointments, you're going to figure out who's motivated and who's not motivated. If they're asking all these questions, they're super strict on the price, and they're hard to work with, they're not going to be motivated. If they're pretty formable, and what I mean by that is they're doing whatever it takes to sell this property to you, then those are the types of people that you're looking for. And then you just got to try to keep coming down on price or whatnot, and just get it to where it makes sense and you can make a decent sized fee on it. So I have a video. I'm going to put a link down below on how to run the numbers. I'm not going to break it down in this video. It's going to take a second to go over, but I'm going to put a link down below on how to figure out how much to offer the seller. It's not that big of a deal, but it'll break it all down for you guys inside of there. And then now what you do is you get it under contract, and if the numbers work out and everything makes sense and they're a motivated seller, you get it under contract. Now that you got it under contract, what you're going to do is post this house as a contract for assignment everywhere. Post it on Craigslist, post it on Facebook groups, post it in Facebook like garage sale groups and whatnot, post it inside of like buy and sell groups inside of Facebook. Try to call different like realties and see if they have some sort of investor willing to buy a property. Just call everybody that you can think of. Try to call as many people as possible, and try to find a buyer within 3 to 5 days. If you can't find a buyer in 3 to 5 days and you market the crap out of this, you try to find a buyer everywhere, that means that it probably isn't a deal. I would try to have realtor kind of run comps on it at that point, just to make sure that you're not passing up on a deal, so on and so forth. And with that, you're going to basically figure out whether or not it's a deal. Just market it everywhere and see who's willing to buy the property. And so what you're going to do is market the property. Like if you get it on a contract for $20,000, just market it up for like $22,000 and let everybody bid it up. Don't try to set your price and an assignment fee inside of the contract. Just let people bid it up and fight over it. You don't want to set a price too high and then nobody wants it, and then you're going to have to negotiate down and have trouble finding a buyer. What you're going to want to do is market the crap out of it and try to find a buyer. And so with that, really that is about it. And once you find a buyer, you send them off an assignment contract, and then you guys send all the contracts off to the title company and get everything closed. One more thing that I forgot to cover is as far as the contracts, I'm going to put all of them down below in the description. There's going to be a video going over step by step how to fill them out, and even a link on how to download them. And in order to download them, you have to be on desktop. It's just how the software works because it's a zip file. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to give you guys exactly how to do that. So all the resources that I talked about inside of this video are going to be down below. The only two that you really need is the skip tracing as well as the dialer, which the dialer as well, I forgot to mention, you can just use Google Voice to call off of it. Just make sure you're keeping track of everything inside of an Excel spreadsheet. Every phone number that you call, how the contact points went, and all that stuff. Just try to keep everything organized inside of some sort of database, and just keep following up with these people that are considering selling their house. If they have a house, they are considered a lead. And are they willing to sell the house right now? Maybe not, but if they have a house, they're considered a lead. So add them into the database. And with that, that is it. Like step by step, exactly what you need to go do. There's going to be a few details, I will be honest with you guys, that I didn't talk about inside of this video, but they don't matter. to be honest. Other than if I didn't talk about it inside of this video, it's something that you're going to find out on your own, and it just wasn't that important of a detail, to be honest. And so with that, you're going to, one more thing as well, the title company. You're just going to try to Google title companies inside of your state and find someone that knows what wholesaling is. Just call them up, ask them, hey, do you know what real estate wholesaling is? And if they say yes or no, then that obviously gives you an answer on if they're going to be able to work with you. Ask if they worked with wholesalers, and then if they haven't, then just keep calling. Another good recommendation is go to like different real estate investor groups inside of your area. You can just go to meetup.com, find different real estate agent, real estate investor groups. And then inside of there, just ask them if they have a title company or a closing attorney that they use for doing their deals. Just find one that's investor friendly and you should be set to go. But that is it. I'm just giving you guys everything inside of this video. The real estate gurus are probably going to hate me for this, but I'm giving it all away. And then if you have any questions that are uber specific on anything I covered inside of here that you're having trouble with after taking action, like I promise you guys, I'm only going to answer questions if you took action on the stuff inside of this video. If you're just asking general questions, look it up on my YouTube channel. I will have a video on it. Don't worry. Now, if you have a question from taking action, I will answer it for you. This is the only time in the video where I'm just going to guarantee that I'll answer you guys. It may take a couple days sometimes, but if you type in the hashtag #DoADeal2019, I will answer you guys as best of my ability as possible. Now, if this video is in a year from now, I can't guarantee it, but for the next couple of months, I will make sure that I will answer you guys' questions inside of that video. But I want to just help you guys out. Maybe just call this like a Christmas gift or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, thank you guys all for watching today's video. Now go out there, take massive action, and comment down below, even if it's like 3 months from now, if you took action on all of this. Comment down below if you did a deal off, like when you do a deal off of this. Not if, when you do a deal after watching this video. And so that way, maybe in like a year, we can come back and see how many people have actually done deals off of this video. I think it's going to be really cool and exciting, but I just gave it all away. So, whoops. Go enjoy it and go have success. So anyways, thank you guys all for watching today's video. Also, if I very much so appreciate it. If you haven't already, join the family, join the gang, all 2,000 of you guys so far, by hitting the subscribe button down below. I upload every day. I provide lots of value on getting into real estate, different business ventures, and how to make money quickly, so that way you can just basically change your life. And I'm not teaching you guys like a quick get rich quick scams or any schemes or anything like that. I'm teaching you guys stuff that'll get you rich quicker, but it's going to take some work in order to get results. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to make you money pretty quickly if you do what I say and you actually make a solid attempt at it. So anyways, smash a like if you want to see more videos like this. And like always, I am uploading every day. So I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.